Well, first, we've seen your DVD.
Oh, okay.
It was a great pleasure to learn all about your life.
Thank you.
And it's amazing the road you've been on all your life. How has changed your life since your documentary?
How's my life changed? I guess it's just different not being involved in wrestling anymore, obviously. I mean, I still come to Ring of Honor and I still do the commentary here, which is a lot of fun. But it's a totally different experience not being in the ring anymore. So that's a sense I feel a little bit older, you know. I feel perhaps older than I probably should at 38 years old, you know. But my life's gone a lot of different directions. I've been editing videos for the Wrestling Cares Association in Los Angeles. I've been doing a lot of other things that aren't involved with wrestling, like acting and stand-up comedy and magic as well. So it's been good, sort of going in different directions, trying to keep my head above water.
Great. Please, we're from a French website, and a lot of our people do not know about you, sadly.
Yeah.
Could you explain us what's your position in ROH and what's your role off air?
Officially, on screen, I'm the matchmaker. Decide who fights for the belts and everything else. Off screen, not a whole lot beyond that, actually. You know, I'm more sort of an advisory role behind the scenes, but I'm more of sort of a figurehead. You know, from being my time here as a champion, I think.
You're not only a name. Do you have a role with young coming in the business?
Some of the younger guys come up to me and ask, if I watch their match and stuff like that. But it's no official title. You know,
okay.
Just, yeah.
Okay. ROH is opening its gates to NJPW.
Yeah, New Japan.
And building its future through Future of Honor. What's your feeling about that?
It's great. It's very important that we keep, bringing people up. Ring of Honor has always been a company where guys come here and they make a name for themselves, and then a lot of times they go on to different places, and so you've got to have people to fill those spots, and I think we've always done that well, and there's always a great crop of young guys who are coming up to fill the spots, and it's important, and the relationship that we've built now with New Japan Pro Wrestling, I think is going to be fantastic. I mean, they're a great company. They're doing fantastic business over there, and both shows, for their shows, one in Toronto and New York, they're both sold out already. So business is good for that. Yeah.
Did you work with a lot of Japanese talent?
I did. Originally, when I was wrestling, we had a relationship with Pro Wrestling Noah. So it was with Morishima and Marufuji and Kenta and a lot of those sort of guys. And I went over and did about 8 or 9 tours in Japan. Yeah.
Right. A personal question. Would you like to have a personal wrestling school?
When I was involved with the Wrestling Cares Association out in Los Angeles, we ran a show. We ran a year-long tournament where 25% of every ticket that we sell goes to a local charity, and part of that was going to originally be set up a school in Los Angeles and start running it with the guy that originally trained me, Les Thatcher. But in Los Angeles, it's kind of difficult to get a building and to get all of the requirements. You have to have a certain number of parking spaces and all this sort of stuff. Very difficult. So in the end, we couldn't find a place to run a school, unfortunately. But it would have been really nice. It would have been great to do that.
Do you think about that in the future?
Maybe. It's difficult, with the way that the wrestling is now. There are so many wrestling schools already. So to carve your own niche is kind of difficult. And I think Los Angeles, where I want to stay, is going to be, is perhaps not the best market for it.
Okay. We're in the middle of the WWE week and the WrestleCon. Do you like those events? Where all the wrestlers gather in one city?
I guess to some extent I do. I was out in Bourbon Street last night, and so I saw a lot of people that I haven't seen in a long time. It's nice to see some friends and stuff like that, and see the fans here. And it's great for Ring of Honor. We come here and always have a great crowd. But sometimes it's a little bit, I don't know. It's kind of bittersweet for me sometimes because I didn't necessarily achieve everything in my career that I wanted to. Oops, we'll pause for that.
Do you have a funny story about a famous wrestler without naming them, but that you wanted to share.
Nothing I can make public. No, that
you can change names.
People always ask me that. I can't think off the top of my head at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll have a think about it, maybe by the end of the interview.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. What do you think of the decision of Vince McMahon forbidding indies events for next year?
I'd heard something about it. I don't know what truth there is to it, or if they're even going to be able to do it or not. I guess I can understand his mentality as a business owner, that he's built a year to this big show, and he doesn't want people sort of piggybacking, making money off it. I mean, that's his protocol, I guess. That's his God, I can't speak English. What,
You want to speak French?
What's the word? It begins with P. I forget now. Anyway, we'll try to come back to it.
That's all right. Don't you think it will be really bad for business? It will have a bad impact on the wrestling economy?
If what?
To forbid the WrestleCon. The fact that people come in a place to see all different kind of shows.
I mean, it would take money out of the smaller companies' pockets for sure. But I think arguably that was always Vince's goal when he started out in the 80s, was to put everybody else out of business and really run the industry, which largely he does. There'll still be an industry though. It's just it's a great weekend for smaller companies. Just take some of the money out of their pockets for sure.
You've accomplished so much as a pro wrestler. Not even what you wished, but so much for the little wrestlers. But you were disappointed about WWE Dream, your WWE Dream. But when you see guys like Chris Hero, the Wolves, where they're coming from your background, and do you think it might be better that they went to the WWE and came back to the indies?
No.
No, really not?
Not really. Well, it depends how much of a run there. You go there and you have 2 or 3 years, on TV with a decent push, then yeah, because then you can make real money on the independents. You can wrestle all over the world. I mean, there's a list as long as my arm of guys who have done that. Who now can get booked in Saudi Arabia or wherever and make very good money and not have to work a regular job again. And I think that was part of my disappointment of not getting there, was that, I essentially had to retire because I couldn't make enough money to wrestle. Whereas if I'd gone to WWE for 2 or 3 years and even had a very unremarkable career there, because of the nature of professional wrestling and people that run shows, if you've had a name in WWE, even a small name, they will pay you a lot more money than even if you've wrestled on the independents for a long time, and you can have great matches. It's just night and day. So it depends how long you're there. But if you're only there in developmental for a short period of time, and then I don't think it helps a lot of people. To be honest with you, I know a lot of people who've come through the developmental system, never got up to TV, and have left sort of with no love for professional wrestling anymore. I think Chris Hero was such a big fan of pro wrestling ever since he was, and he's such a great student of the game that you'll never beat that love of him. I mean, he'll always love pro wrestling, and I think perhaps that's why fans identify with him so much. Okay,
thank you. Do you know the French wrestling circuits?
I did one show, maybe 2 shows over there a couple of years ago, well, before I retired. I don't know a whole lot about it. I always enjoyed going to France and wrestling there, yeah.
Okay. Now, it's the last question. Won't bother you. Show me a trick.
You've heard about the magic, have you?
No, you're all about magic.
Really?
We're talking about Nigel McGuinness. It's all about magic.
There we are. As if by magic. Let's see what we got. I was out on Bourbon Street last night doing card tricks. Now, I'll do this in English, but maybe in French you have different names for the cards, right?
Yeah.
What's the name of this?
Trèfle.
Trèfle. Très bon. So, take the trèfle right there, thumb up. Good. And that card in your hand is what?
Un trèfle.
Sure.
It's supposed to be. Yeah, I'm sure.
Take a look. It is.
It is.
There's so much. Trèfle there, and then what do you call that code?
Peak.
Okay, so I take peak and I swap. Trying to have a trèfle. Alright, nice and loose. 1, 2, 3. Now, without looking this time, that card in your hand, is that the ace of spades or the ace of clubs? Trèfle or peak?
I cannot.
Peak. Peak. So this one on top is now
Trèfle.
Trèfle, peak. If I change the order now, peak, trèfle, would you be impressed?
Yeah, I'd be impressed. Damn! Oh damn! Where is the paint? Damn good.
Voila! Magnifique.
Well, Nigel McGuinness, thank you very much for your time. Could I ask you just one thing? We're here for the website Catch Au Quotidien.
Okay.
Could you just say, Vive Catch Au Quotidien?
Oh, I will try.
This is Nigel McGuinness, Ring of Honor Superstar, and stay tuned to Catch Au Quotidien.
Perfect.
Abe.
Thank you very much, Nigel
Thanks, guys.
McGuinness.